Hi, Abby. I have a helper today. This is Chelsea. She's still waking up. And so she's sitting next to me. I'm snuggled in here. And we're going to work on a few reading workbook pages together. So if you could find 149, and this is special plural nouns. Remember that plural means more than one. Yesterday we talked about plural nouns that have strange different spellings, like woman becomes women when it becomes plural. Now today what we're going to talk about is when you have a word that ends with a Y, like baby. If you're going to talk about more than one baby and say babies, you aren't just going to put an S on that. You're going to do this rule. You're going to change the Y at the end to an I, and then you're going to add ES. So that's an important rule. I remember learning it when I was a kid. And so baby actually becomes, and I'll show this to you better here in a second, babies, that looks like that. So I'd like you to go through these and take the Y off and put an I there, then add ES to make stories, cherries, berries, and puppies. Okay. Down below, you're going to look at the underlined words and decide if they're singular or plural. So many women play sports. Women would be plural, and then you'd simply write plural on the line. And I should have said yes. You're absolutely welcome to practice your cursive on these words as you go through here, Abby. So decide if singular, meaning one, or plural, meaning more than one, and just write that word on the line there. As we go to the next page, we have a crossword puzzle with your spelling words. So I think you'll be okay there. Just make sure that if the clues are in the across section, number one, a decision, just that clue or that word would go across. And then here's one down. A metal piece of money would start at the 1 and go down. This would be 5 across. This 6 would go down, and it'll say 6 down. So read those clues, see if you can get the crossword puzzle done. Then I did some work on this page, and you can kind of stop and copy as you need to. What we're working on this is 151 now, are words that have suffixes. Suffixes are endings you can add to a base word. So we were working on words that have a Y added, or an FUL, full, or OUS, which says us, at the end of a word. And so we're supposed to find that kind of word in the sentence and then break it down. So in number 1, if you read it, Uncle Mario is a skillful carpenter who can build just about anything. Skillful is the word I circled because I saw the FUL. And the base word that skillful comes from is the word skill. So that's what I wrote there on the line, skill. The suffix ending is full, FUL. And what does skillful mean? If he can build just about anything, he's talented, full of skill, you could say. I just wrote the word talented. He knows what he's doing. Okay, he's skilled. And then I went on. And you can, I'm not going to go through every one of these because it will take too long on our video. Peppery, adventurous, powerful, slimy. I'm going to just kind of back off so you can see the whole page here. So if you need to rewatch it, you can see that. Adventurous is daring, willing to go on an adventure. Powerful would be strong. Slimy, I wrote full of slime, slippery, kind of yucky. Peppery back up there was spicy, has pepper. So use this to kind of go through these together and practice reading those sentences. Then the final side I'd like you to work on this morning is a review. It's 152. We had talked about action verbs earlier this year versus being verbs. Action verbs are words where you're actually doing something. Verbs are what you do. So talk, walk, jump, skip, sing. But words of being or verbs of being would be like am, is, are, was, and were. Those are forms of be. So the players jump and they are strong. Jump would be your action verb. Are is a being verb. So you have to decide if it's action or if it's a being verb. And that's what you're going to write. So if they say Tammy worked hard for the race and you say worked is an action word, then you're a verb. You're just going to write the word action on the line. Was is not an action verb. That's a being verb. So you would write being on the line, or the being, yes, on the line. The bottom, we're actually combining two sentences that are kind of choppy. And we've done this before. Because they both have the same subject, Jenna jumped 4 feet high, Jenna landed in the foam pit. You don't have to keep them as two separate sentences since the subject is the same. So I rewrote it as one sentence and I said, Jenna jumped 4 feet high and landed in the foam pit. I didn't repeat her name twice, but I used both verbs, jumped and landed. And I just said what she did. So I think you can do that. I see the team is repeated here. The coaches are repeated there with some connecting or being verbs were. So you don't have to repeat unnecessary things. You can put those together. So those are the 4 pages I suggest you work on today. And then you'll be in good shape. I think I told you in my email, please read Jump, the story again. Maybe read it to somebody, a dog, a stuffed animal, a person, if they'll listen. If a person would be the best, if mom or dad would sit with you and listen to you and help you read the story. Then also dig out the vocabulary page that I gave you and practice those words. Read through them, make sure you can read them and understand what they mean. And that should help you with reading today. Thanks.